Yeah, and well, because I had to self-validate, and hopefully one day, I wish I could have explained that better in the book, but I convinced myself, and I truly liked myself. Once high school hit, I was like, I am good enough, and I am a nice person, and one day I'm gonna do something, great, and like, this is just these people's opinions of me, and so the self-validation is what got me through, and it's tough because it's such a catch-22 because I am in such a better place now because of the bullying, but I still wish, I didn't have to go through it, but it's definitely shaped me. I don't think people realize how like how transformative and like scarring bullying is as a kid, because it really does, it stays with you. And, I'm fortunate that it brought me to a good place. But yeah, it's funny how, how long that stays with you.
Totally. Well, like, look, it helped you with internet trolls, so that's a positive,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And did it help you in a sense, like you are on this reality show, like it's tough, sometimes being on a reality show is the wild, wild west. And if it isn't, you just get to your first reunion and then you realize you need like a suit of armor.
Yeah, the God, reunion days are the worst day of the year. But I mean, I think that's what is great is, people finally after reading the book is like, oh, this is why Craig's always so outspoken or is always sticking up for the underdog, because this is something that, he's dealt with before. And yeah, moving forward, I'll try not to get blacked out before any reunions moving forward, or my publicist is going to have a lot harder, a lot more work to do than we are right now.
A harder job. Well, speaking of Southern Charm, I think also like talk to me about that, because you talk about this in the book a little bit. You have fame, now we're in season 8. I do this for a living, so I know what season 8 means. You're doing well financially. I think people think reality TV star, fame, who wouldn't want to be on Southern Charm? But, talk to me about, you talked about how it did kind of have like an adverse effect, like when you first started the show at times.
Well, yeah, and it's getting a little looser with, the restrictions on us, but man, was that frustrating for a long time being called lazy and shit. And like, when are you going to get a job? How are you even paying your bills? And, for a long time, we weren't able to address that this is a job, because they didn't, they don't want to kind of, yeah, for whatever reason, we both know that. And so you kind of have to take it on the chin. And it was like, look, I was trying to juggle a lot of stuff back then. And you don't really get the credence for it, but I wouldn't change a thing. I'm still happy I did it. I really love the life I have. I love the, all the help we're able to do and the good and the people I can meet. But I like, look, a lot of the girls on our show, past and present, really have had some hard times with being on the show. I mean, people are mean. And like I said, for the first time in these girls' lives and some of our guys, it's the first time that they're dealing with it. I don't know. I had dealt with it before. And so I know to not like read the stuff or look at it, but it can get pretty dark because people, not everyone, but a lot of people view you as objects and they don't think you have feelings. And like the stuff they say online, they would never say to someone's face. And like, even the one that's crazy is like when people respond, like a girl that I did a podcast with the other day, like Fran on Chicks in the Office, she said that someone said something really mean to her and she just wrote back mean. And they were like, no, I'm just kidding. Like, I love you so much. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you responded. And you're like, what fucking world are we living in right now that someone thinks that it's okay to say something nasty? But, and you can't bitch about this with anyone because it's very unlikely that anyone else in your life is on a reality show. And so it kind of gets lonely a little bit because, I mean, who are you like, who are you going to complain about some of those things to? Because it's like, cry me a river, Craig, cry me a river. Like, I'm so sorry that your life's, tough sometimes. So, one day maybe I'll write about the experience because it's truly been fascinating to live through.
Yeah. I mean, usually I just say to people like, thank you very much for your kind words, even though they're saying horrible things to me. And then same thing. They're like, oh my God, wait, no, that's like, and I'm like, how do you want me to respond to this? Like, in what world?
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, like, but mean is a good one too. I'm going to have to steal that. Well, we're going into our 8th season. Like, what are some highs that stick out for you, like from Southern Charm? Like, do you have like one or two highs just to sum everything up?
I mean, the time, we really miss Cameron, but like getting to hang with Cameron was so fun. We filmed for 4 months and we were kind of all over the place. After a few seasons, everyone goes out on their own and starts traveling and stuff. But when you're brought back, kind of in the same realm, it's just really fun. And look, I would have never been able to go live in the Bahamas if I hadn't done the show. So that's just one crazy thing that I love from it. But the time spent with the guys and like I love doing press, whether we were doing upfronts in LA with Shep or Austin and touring Universal's, studio lot, like that type of stuff I love, and meeting the other people on the network because I'm such a TV fan. I don't watch unscripted except for really 90 Day and some Bravo stuff, but scripted shows I love. And so when we do these things with NBC, you get to meet these people, and it's just that's always been so fun for me.
Are you the type that gets starstruck? Like, right, like you meet people through your job, like do you get starstruck?
I internalize it really well. So I don't act like I am, but in my head, I'm like, this is so cool. This is so cool. This is so cool. But my goal has always been, I've never taken pictures. I'm always just like, my goal is that if I see you at an airport after this, we can have like a beer together or like a drink,
You never ask for the picture.
No, Shep asked for a picture with every single person he has ever met. And I'm on the opposite side of that, which sometimes I hate it. Sometimes I like being with Shep because I'm like, oh God, of course Shep's taking the picture. But inside I'm like, all right, this is cool. I definitely wanted a picture.
Who's someone that just left you starstruck where you were like, oh my God.
The only one of the main ones was like Danny McBride, because he's a big Bravo fan, and he came up to me and Cam once, and we're like, dude, you're in like 75% of our favorite movies. But yeah, that was a fun one. And, like Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his wife, Amy, are big fans. And, but Shep, I remember we did a movie with Olivia Culpa, and he was so shy. And that was the time that he asked for the picture with both of us. And I was like, all right, this is cool.
That's a good one. What about what are some, is there one or two things that stick out as your lows from Southern Charm? Just like, let's not relive this.
Yeah, I mean, second season got pretty rough. I was living like paycheck to paycheck and just spending more than I had, and felt like I had to be the guy buying all the shots. And I was definitely I talk about that season in the book.
Yeah.
And then like, I think when everyone came over for the first like pillow party at my house, no one really knew what was going on. I think I woke up at like 4 or 5 and, yelled at producers like it was everyone else's fault, but, really it was my fault for, staying up all night, God, sewing or doing, it was never like fun stuff either, with Adderall, you're just by yourself, like doing random shit around your house until you like burn out. And then, half the time I just take another one, but, I didn't realize that I was depressed at that time. And, Adderall was my happy pill. When I took Adderall, I wasn't depressed in that moment, but I didn't realize that it was just elongating, the real issues. So I'd say, there's some dark moments, but not, nothing specific. Just kind of my way of living at some of those points.